Theme parks need to evolve and grow, and a side effect of that is that rides need to close to make way for newer ones. We all have them. Coasters we rode that aren't around anymore. Some we got to experience at least once and wish we could get one more ride. Others we got to ride way too many times and they just reached the end of their service life. Here's my top 10 defunct coasters in order of which I wish I got one more ride. I'd normally put in some honorable mentions, but of the two of them, one is now known as Rougarou, and the other is Disaster Transport, which, all good, we got a better replacement. And then, there's Mean Streak.
Alright, that's it! Dishonor! Dishonor on your whole family! Make a note of this! Dishonor on you! Dishonor on your cow!
Stop! I'm sorry.
Number 10, Roller Soaker. This ride was neat since you had interactivity between the riders with the water they could dump on the non-riders that had water cannons. I got one ride on this on my first visit to Hershey in 2011. While not the most thrilling or even intense, it was just a fun way to beat the heat on a hot Hershey Park day. Number 9, Wicked Twister at Cedar Point. The world's tallest and fastest impulse coaster was definitely a thrill, but when you're in the same park as the likes of Millennium Force, Steel Vengeance, and so many other monsters, your days were numbered. I got my fair share of rides on this one, but it would have been nice to give it one final send-off. It's surely missed, but keep an eye out. I don't think this spot will be coasterless for too long. Number 8, Vortex at Kings Island. On my first visit in 2016, I was excited to go on this legendary looper that took the record from the Viper at my home park of Darien Lake. I had heard lots of good and bad about this. I got one memorable, almost night ride. Well, memorable because I got on it. This thing felt rough, and while the layout was nice and good, the rough ride made this ride not as memorable for me. And I know I could have enjoyed this because I do enjoy many other Aero loopers. It had great inversions. The roughness just didn't make this ride too enjoyable or memorable. Number 7, Firehawk at Kings Island. Speaking of that first trip to Kings Island, I also got one ride on this Vekoma Flying Dutchman. While I enjoyed this more than my one ride on its sibling Nighthawk at Carowinds, it was smoother and more enjoyable. There's something about that flying position, but Vekoma just doesn't know how to do it. B&Ms are definitely better. We got Orion in this spot now, so I don't feel as bad, and that's a good Giga, and a more than worthy successor for the spot in the park. Number 6, Colossus. I have one ride on this from my 2014 visit, and it wasn't even running forwards, it was backwards. And this, honestly, was in the top 5 coasters I went on at the park, and the only other ride I wanted to re-ride on, which unfortunately did not happen. It was smooth and intense. Maybe that's because I couldn't see where I was going. I definitely want to give this in its reborn form, Twisted Colossus, a try in the future. Number 5, Thunder Road at Carowinds. Coincidentally, my one and only visit to Carowinds happened to land when this ride would be giving its last days. I was hoping to even score a Thunder Road pin, which I did not. The dual-track wooden racer had lots of ejector airtime and was smooth and felt like it was flying. I wish it didn't have to meet the Wrecking Ball to make way for the Carolina Harbor Water Park expansion. However, there's a few other dual-tracked racing woodies that can fill the void left behind by this one. Number 4, Skyrider at Canada's Wonderland. Before I get ripped a new one for missing a Togo, let alone a stand-up one, let me say this. This is my only Togo credit to this point, and it was a solid number 4 at Wonderland until its closing. It felt fast, smooth, and had standing airtime, which is a unique feeling to say the least, as well as the loop, helix, and the trick track. This ride lives on in my memory. This was replaced by the tallest and fastest dive coaster, Yukon Striker, which at least keeps the green coaster support vibe going at Wonderland. Number 2 and 3, the Dueling Dragons at Universal's Islands of Adventure. Because they are two very different coasters, they end up getting 2 spots. My last rides came in 2014, when they didn't duel anymore, and the awesome dragon head didn't exist either. That being said, most of my rides on this did exist when it dueled, and boy, that near-miss feeling is something to remember. I didn't think one was necessarily better than the other. Not really, Both were fast-paced, rapid-fire monster inverts. I wish some park could have bought these, even if separated so they could have lived on. But we got Hagrid in its place and Velocicoaster to make up for the intensity lost. So maybe they made up for it. I'll be able to say that whenever I get back to IOA. Number 1. Volcano the Blast Coaster at King's Dominion. The first ride I ever rode at King's Dominion, and a ride that I heard so much about. This thing was everything it was advertised to be, and more. The first speed launch, the massive turnaround, the second launch blasting you up and out of the volcano, and the 30G rolls on the way back down. I really wanted one more ride on that visit. Unfortunately, I will only have that one ride, but fortunately, I did get my chance to ride it, and it was absolutely awesome. King's Dominion knows how much this ride meant to everyone, and I have no doubt it will have a worthy successor. Also, for the record, Toonbilly is not and never was meant to be the successor. It's a bonus and a holdover till they can build that proper successor. And that's going to do it for my 10 best defunct coasters that I wish I got a rewrite on. Did you get to ride any of these? Did you wish you could have had one more ride? Let us know in the comments below. Also, consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the parks.